Marcus Saxton is the chairman of the Independent British Vaping Trade Association and CEO of the vaping company Totally Wicked, who are based in Blackburn. And I'm delighted to welcome Marcus to the show this morning. Marcus, thank you for your time. Your reaction to the news this morning about single-use vapes will be banned in England from next June.
Yeah, good to join you this morning. And very similar and maybe surprising to your listeners is similar to your last contributor there from Lisa Nandy is this is well overdue. It was announced, as you say, probably over a year ago, actually, when the industry found out about this, and well overdue to get that clarity to enable retailers. And most importantly, there is over 3 million ex-smokers that have transitioned to vaping, a materially safer, not safe, I stress to add, alternative, but materially safer than smoking. And therefore, the clarity that these products that many of them have used due to the simplicity of them and ease of use, actually it's now appropriate to say this is the ban that's happening, that's when it is, and how can we find you a sustainable alternative to stop you reverting back to smoking. So mixed feelings. You've referenced in your article here the black market, which we may come on to. It's not without concern, but overall we welcome the clarity as well.
You say it's not without concern. What are those concerns, Marcus, as somebody in the vaping industry?
So firstly, you've got to imagine we own vape stores, and this is very different. We've been transitioning people for probably about 2 years now onto a more sustainable, you can recharge, refill, is more better value for them, but equally as convenient. But outside of our stores where we supply to, say, supermarkets or convenience stores, over 80% of their sales are through single-use products. Because what you've got to imagine, they don't have the expertise and advice to offer consumers something alternative. So there's a huge number of previous smokers that have been accessing these very simple products to use, ease of convenience, that now we've got to ensure they've got a suitable alternative to stop them switching back to the habit that ultimately, and unfortunately, 2 out of 3 of them would die through lifelong use of cigarettes.
What are your thoughts on young people using vapes? Some of the figures we heard earlier, a quarter of 11 to 15-year-old children have vaped in some form or other. It's great to hear that vaping has got a lot of people off actual cigarettes, but there's a point being made that, you know, some youngsters are starting on the vapes for the first time, and if these disposables weren't a thing, maybe they wouldn't.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And not to try and belittle this, because I have children, and if they started vaping, I'd want a very serious conversation with them about why are they doing it. And just to reiterate, these are not risk-free. They were never designed for children to access these products. There's about 400,000 of the children that are regularly using. In fact, it's probably a bit less than that, but lots are experimenting. And therefore, that doesn't belittle the fact that they're never designed for them. But this is the link, and you referenced it, to the black market as well. We work tirelessly, as other vape stores do, to ensure that age verification checks. We're experienced in it for 16 years now, selling these products, and we'll ensure that they don't get into the hands of youths. But unfortunately, there are retailers out there, firstly, buying illicit products that are not tested, not notified, you don't know what's in them. And secondly, they are certainly linking that to selling them to use, because if they're prepared to buy illegal products and illicit products, highly unlikely they're going to go through those age verification protocols. This is where the issue happens. And if the single-use ban prevents access to these products, then that's great. But we've got to ensure that they're already selling them illegally today. And how do we ensure that the black market doesn't boom? And the fine that's going to be applicable to someone selling them is £200, which is just not sufficient to put them off doing so.
And what about the impacts on your business, Totally Wicked, Marcus? How do you see that being impacted?
Yeah, so firstly and emotionally, you know, anything that a average layperson hears this news and thinks these products must be bad, therefore that's why they're banning them, that's a real concern. There's only 7% of adults that can accurately cite that vaping is materially safer than smoking, which is terrible because there's still 6 million smokers. We need to help out there. So that's the first emotional response. Practically, we've been doing this transition for over 2 years already. So go to a reputable vape store, you'll find many products that are better value and just about as convenient as the products that you're buying, which may be single use. Us personally, therefore, this won't be a huge concern. But as I say, for supermarkets, convenience stores, and there's lots of them that are selling these products, it's a big issue as to where do those smokers go. and that we don't put this into the hands of the black market.
And just picking up on what you said there about the emotional reaction to it, given you're chairman of the Independent British Vaping Trade Association and CEO of Totally Wicked as well, what do you think of vaping yourself?
So I've worked in what many of your listeners may class as, that's a very responsible business. Soft drinks, GlaxoSmithKline and consumer healthcare products, alcohol. We all enjoy a drink, but it's not without material societal impact. And actually, when I joined this industry 6 years ago, I was probably a little bit perplexed, as many of your listeners were. Is this good? Is this bad? Is it switching one addiction for another? I have never felt so purposed and in that societal gain. And you may say that sounds very sort of purist, but it is. We are helping many millions of people transition to a materially safer product. And from that perspective, I've never felt as good as I have working in the industry I do, albeit that privilege and purpose comes with responsibility, which is why we take this so seriously.
Marcus, it's been a pleasure to speak. Thank you so much for your time on the show this morning.